To start with, anybody can pick up. You have like 3 mics, okay? So that's so who would like to start with? I know, for instance, like Roberto. I say, oh no, sorry, no, I'm sorry, no. We have to to follow the protocol. Luxembourg has to speak first. Exactly, Luxembourg has to speak first. Pierre, do you want to tell us a bit about what makes Luxembourg specific, and what do the Luxembourgish e-retailers or customers expect in terms of delivery and returns?
First of all, welcome to Luxembourg. I'm very happy to see all of you here. Also my fellow colleagues from the e-commerce Europe and other associations. Delivery or transport means a lot to us in Luxembourg. As we are a small country, it's very difficult to have innovative transport solutions. Let's say the market is very small, so it's difficult to finance it. So as I'm also a retailer and e-retailer, so we are. It's a big deal to make e-commerce in Luxembourg and cross those borders. The costs are so high that we are fighting all the time to have solutions. Also talking a lot with transport companies. We don't have the solution yet. Digital single market is also very important for us, and we hope that in the future, for the benefit of Europe, but also for Luxembourg, that there will be solutions. Right now, the Luxembourg customers, they buy most of the goods abroad, and the Luxembourgish companies cannot offer the service they expect.
Roberto, do you want to pick up?
Well, Italy is a peculiar country with 66 million of inhabitants, and we have 19 million of people that buy online. And the interesting thing of Italy is that we have 8,800 municipalities. We just made a study recently, and we found out that the small municipalities have a retailer which is not enough to deliver choice goods and mix of products. So e-commerce is taking off also in the small municipalities around Italy. And of course, delivery is a key issue to deliver goods in time and to deliver goods all around Italy. And that's why the Italian e-commerce is growing by 20% year by year. It's perhaps one of the countries where e-commerce is growing the most, even if the total amount of e-commerce is still a little bit behind what has been already accomplished by the big country like Germany and France. But what is happening is an incredible change of path, incredible change of how e-commerce and multi-channelity is going to address the real need of a population which, as you know, is made by strong buyer. The Italian people are strong buyer, and they want quality goods and quality of life. And that's why we are not only importing goods, but we are also exporting goods all around the world, for which about 3 billion euro out of the 19 million euro are exporting goods to other countries. So Italian is by far one of the...
There's lots of stuff going on in Europe that we need to address, especially at an event like you like this one. And I see a few things. One is, I think, that if you look from the perspective of retailers, that the flexibility for retailers to be able to work together with the logistic partners on a cross-border level is very, very crucial. Retailers really want to provide consumers the right information about delivery, about track and change, and the return process. And I think one of the things that we really should strive for is that logistical partners are able to work together, to make it interoperable, for retailers to work, not to be locked in with a certain logistic provider, but to really be able to work together in an interoperable pace. If you think of the fact that 27% at this point in time of the consumers that want to buy cross-border, they just leave the process of cross-border buying because they do not have the right information nor the right information about fee, the return process. So it's just quick. They just don't go fly across borders. So that's something that we cannot have. And retailers have to be in control. So they really want, because logistics is really part of the customer journey. It's almost a unique selling point. And I think if we want to look into the future of retailers working together with the logistical partners, it's important that we find new alternatives, not just to make things fast and quick and speedy and free of charge, which for us is always a thing, but also to look at a more sustainable way. Because I think ultimately the next generation of consumers, they want to have to start delivering a sustainable, circular type of environment. And I think that's something that we both, all partners here, would work together.
Thank you very much. Maybe Walter, you wanted to add something?
Yes, on behalf of Germany, one of the leading exporting countries in Europe, cross-border e-commerce is one of the key factors driving e-commerce currently. But the associations are not only talking about it, the associations are not only pleading to the European Commission. No, we changed our strategy altogether, coming to the European Commission to get more involved. So about a year ago, we changed our strategy to move into creating the level playing field, to move into harmonization. More standards are needed to work closer together, to tackle exactly the three major hurdles. So it's about the legal framework, it's about the VAT and taxation systems, it's about logistics and distribution. Now, in particular about deliverer, logistics, e-logistics, I'm very happy to say that the work over the last year or so has proven to be very successful. We have a technical specification now on the run for a harmonized label. I let that sink in. A harmonized label, meaning that out of the supply chain, we can now create a delivery label for each and every carrier, seamless across Europe and possibly worldwide. So we are not bound to legacy systems, legacy IT systems. It's us who is deciding the data behind that, because this is leading directly to a kind of data which is a clear link to our own customers. So on the parcel will be a license plate, a clear identifier, a harmonized label, which enables also carriers to use that, but they can use their own barcodes as well. And that is a direct link to the end consumer, the recipient. And the recipient knows what's in the parcel, can scan it, and therefore cross-selling and data behind that is directly linked back to the sender. We believe that this is tremendous. We are not stopping there. The new mandate of the European Commission was very much influenced by e-commerce in Europe as well. So there are 5 new topics linking more data, more cross-border when it comes to legal frameworks and taxation systems. So there's a lot of harmonization going on, not only driven by law, it's done by us ourselves. Because if we wait for the politicians to do what we would like to do, we might wait forever. So we have to do it ourselves. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you. Give the floor to Karine from Belgium.
Thank you, Stefan. I'm very happy to be here today. Indeed, Belgium is also a very small country, a little bit bigger than Luxembourg, but we are also focusing on cross-border, and this is really our main topic on logistic issue, e-logistic. And I'm very, very happy to hear from Walter this morning that we just achieved this today. So it's a kind of premiere, and we're going to drink champagne on this because this. I'm waiting for this for so many years.
There's a lot of champagne in our outside. For you people to know, there are today 500 bottles of champagne. So we have enough. Only one? Thank you.
Because in fact, this harmonization in labeling is quite something straightforward that we just achieved, thanks to Walter. And this is really a big step that we were really fighting and asking for so many years. So now we are very happy about this step, and we think we need much more other steps, but very concrete steps. That's what we need to help all the small SMEs that are really doing the major of the market, because it's a very pyramidal market, and this is a huge step. So thanks a lot for this achievement.
I think that the things are moving now. We have the impression that there was like a long-standing status quo, and now it's moving, and also thanks to you guys. So it's a great benefit for consumers and shoppers. Maybe Igor from Russia. So we have to please
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here as well. In comparison to Belgium, Russia is actually the largest country in the world. And
from how many times the Luxembourg?
And actually, on one hand it's good, but on the other hand you can imagine it's really the largest country in the world, and therefore the biggest challenge which we have is actually e-commerce logistics. Therefore, actually, unfortunately, we have a very small number of parcels, e-commerce parcels, based on the number of people which we have in Russia. And on the other hand, we have very high logistic costs, about more or less $5 per parcel. And therefore, what is really, really important for us right now, trying to find new drivers to increase the volume of e-commerce parcels. Otherwise, really, the logistic costs will still remain so high, and the delivery time will be still too long. And therefore, today, we see it's a main driver to increase the volume on Russian cross-border, and really cross-border to Russia. And in the last 3 years, cross-border to Russia was growing very, very strong from 0 to actually more or less 130 million parcels last year. And we see here big potential. And today, a lot of European companies, a lot of American e-commerce companies, Chinese e-commerce companies, they really have very easy access to Russian market for using cross-border channels. And we hope that the cross-border will continue to grow in the next 2-3 years in the same range, 50% as actually it was in the last year.
So just I want to add that for, we have, we are also thankful for that. We have a delegation from retailers from Russia. So for you to know, there is also like a workshop which is organized by SPSR, Russian logistics company. In the workshop area, just check out the schedule, and there is like for people who are interested in the topic, but having cross-border activity in Russia or to Russia or from Russia, we have this workshop. Also, I wanted to add for the people who are also interested by the standardization also topic. There is also a workshop on this. So first floor, like all the workshop. For you also to know if you want to meet like associations to see exactly what they can offer you. So of course they will be here, but there will be like a special room, so like a lounge next to the workshop studio with like nice place to sit and to drink, etc. So there's like a what we call it the association lounge, first floor.
Thank you, Doctor. It's very difficult to find additional things to talk about Spain. We have a situation quite similar to Italy. Depending on reports, we share positions in rankings and this kind of things. We have a movement towards reducing continuously the entry barriers for consumers, the fears that we had as a community a few years ago about reliability of credit cards. This is part of history. Digital today is mainly focused on around the world standard. This is how the best we think we can support our members is to accelerate the process of developing the activity within the e-economy, not only commerce, I would say. And in this area, the labels, interfaces, including data sets, are the major work streams within the organization.
Okay, thank you.
So, following Spain, Portugal.
Portugal, yes, it's logical.
Which are very, very, very close.
Close the mic just to...
Portuguese market is small, but of course there are lots of opportunities for Portuguese retailers and logistics operators, because you are clearly a entry point in Europe from Portuguese-speaking countries, from Africa, and from Latin America, mainly Brazil. So our logistics operators are exploring these opportunities in developing line hauls between the different geographies on the world, but always focus in this exceptional situation of Portugal, because we have historically this very well positioned in terms of linking Africa, Latin America with Europe. So it's a very interesting issue. Of course, in terms of our association, our aim is promoting the development of e-commerce. E-commerce in Portugal in domestic terms is emergent. The biggest brands are not in Portugal acting directly. For example, Amazon, Zalando, eBay, Rakuten, only as important examples. They are not acting in Portugal directly, and of course there are still, for some big brands, some geo-blocking. So there is even access for Portuguese customers to have access to some e-commerce platforms. So it is something that also the big brands must look at emergent economies like Portugal, because in terms of infrastructures, in terms of data centers, in terms of fast internet networks and telecommunications, we are very well positioned. And Portugal is also a brilliant startup environment. And as you know, even in terms of IT and innovative events are now launching in Portugal. The Web Summit is now occurring this year in Portugal. So there is very good conditions in Portugal to develop all these ecosystems around the e-commerce solutions.
Thank you. Maybe Greg, that means you want to take the mic, right? Yeah. So Greg from UK.
Firstly, a little bit about the UK. It's probably the most advanced e-commerce economy in Europe. Most of the global carriers are there. Within the UK, 1.2 billion parcels are shipped per annum. Developments recently, we've seen massive growth in click and collect. That's been really important as far as e-commerce is concerned. 25% of total transactions are now delivered through click and collect as far as multi-channel retailers are concerned. What's the consumers demanding? Increased delivery options, increased transparency in terms of information and transit. That's been key thing that's starting to emerge within the UK market. As far as cross-border is concerned, obviously the UK is a maturing market. For UK retailers, cross-border has been increasingly important. Obviously, the Brexit issue has introduced a lot of complexity and uncertainty as far as the cross-border opportunities are concerned. There has been some positives recently in the last month or so.
How would you say, Graham, that Brexit will impact the UK retailers?
If I could tell you that, I'd be further ahead than the UK government. Well, obviously there's going to be increased complexity in terms of regulations, legislation. There's increased complexity in the supply chain, increased costs. These are all possibilities depending on how the negotiations go with the European Union. There's possibility of labour issues, which you're all probably fully aware of. As far as what's happened immediately as a result of Brexit, the volumes of parcels shipped internationally dramatically increased. In fact, in the month of July, it was the highest ever recorded volume of parcels shipped internationally. The one downside of that was that average basket values dropped. Why did they drop? Because of the currency, the devaluation of the pound. I think the whole Brexit issue is going to throw up a whole range of issues, as you're all aware, and that's going to be a difficult time for retailers, UK retailers and European retailers and beyond, because nobody really knows how it's all going to pan out.
Maybe Pia from Sweden. So, Sweden, you remain in Europe, right?
We are, yes.
Okay.
I don't think we should
Thank you.
No, we won't do Swedish versus, I don't think so. Thank you. You said that you increased the volumes. I know that Swedes buy a lot of things from, mainly from the United States and of course from the UK as well. The Swedes are very common to e-commerce. We have done e-commerce for like ages, but we are a very small country. It's quite a difficult country as well. There are not a lot of people living out in the countryside. So we don't have a click and collect system so far, but we have the postal service as isn't what it used to be. We don't have any post offices anymore. We have pickup stations at the retailers instead. I go and pick up my parcels at the petrol station, which is really neat.
So this is maybe Pia, something that maybe the audience doesn't realize, that in Sweden there is no more post office.
No, hardly. Well, there are some of them, of course, but not
And I'm sure that some people might be surprised to hear that today.
Yeah. Well, it's worked very good actually. We have that for like several years now, and the customer think it's perfect because they can come in the evening and pick up their parcels. In Sweden, everywhere is working. We don't have any people staying at home during the day, and most of the deliveries actually come during the day. It's difficult to have deliveries in the evening, for us anyway. But we also like the payments by phone. We use our phone to do everything. We have the phone with us 24/7. We have it in the bathroom, we sleep with it, we do anything with our phones. And payments is also very interesting because we used to pay with them all the time. We don't know how to actually go into a bank these days because the bank doesn't want us to come in there actually either. But we are interested very much in the sending parcels between countries. It's a bit difficult at the moment. I have an example. It was a customer in Sweden that wanted to start selling to Spain. That's nice, isn't it? He had to go up to Stockholm to sign some sort of papers and then go back home, wait for like ages, and then he came, phoned again, and they said, you need a bank account in Spain, otherwise you can't do business. Okay, so he started the process again, and finally, after a year, he could actually start doing business with Spain. I think we have to eliminate sort of bureaucracy and things like that. That I think is very important.
Thank you. Maybe Dusan, maybe you want to add something from Slovakia?
Yeah, thank you. I'm really happy to be here as well. Slovak market is one of the smallest in the CE region. But despite the fact that the Slovak e-commerce market is quite developed, it comes with a high penetration of internet for many years and a very fast internet. The challenges that we are now facing is that we don't have so strong presence in our market or in our region by West or the global company player as Mozambique. So there are really strong brands from our area. And on the other hand, we are importing a lot, mainly from Czech Republic. It's like a very close market to us, like the Czech market in Slovakia, so it's connecting a lot. And maybe to compare it with Sweden, we still have a really strong presence of post office, the national post office, like main delivery preference is post office. The click and collect is rising, but these are really emerging. And to connect with the post office and the post office delivery is like payment by delivery, right? So
cash on delivery, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
so like in Russia, I guess it's very high rates.
Yeah, so that comes with our region, the history that people didn't trust it. this kind of commerce in the past, but it's getting better and better. this was like a really beautiful country.
Thank you. We are very happy to hear about Greece. Okay, so from this Paris, so you come from Greece, not France, right? Okay, people have told that 1,000 times, sorry.
I am coming from Greece. My name is Pastor Reus. Good morning, everyone. Stefan, thank you for the invitation. I'm really glad to be here today. I am General Director at the VRTUOZ Association. And I will tell you a little bit about our country and our e-commerce market. Greek market is a 4 billion euros market. That is about 2% of our GDP. And the numbers are growing constantly every year, despite the capital controls, as you may already know, we have in Greece, and the downsizing of the economy. E-commerce market is growing by more than 10% every year, and there are more than 4,000 e-shops right now. A significant number of them are exporting, but we face a serious barrier, that is the parcel delivery.
Does it mean that the e-commerce was more positively or negatively affected by the crisis? Is it more benefiting from it, or?
The numbers
keep on increasing.
Are a little bit smaller than the previous years, but we are optimistic, and the market is growing
very dynamically.
Yes. And as I said before, the parcel delivery, the parcel shipping cost in Greece is very expensive for the online shops. This is mainly due to the topography of the country's terrain and the high taxation. For example, any shop located in an island, in a Greek island, cannot easily compete any shop located in Athens, the capital of our country. It is more expensive, the city cost, and it takes more time for the parcel to be delivered to the customer. So it is much more expensive to send the parcel abroad. And right now we are focusing, and we are in discussion with the government in order to reduce the cost and the taxation, of course.
Okay. So to finish the roundtable, another country, also with a specific geography, and geography plays a significant role in logistics. So you could tell us about the Finnish customers and retailers.
Thank you. Many things are similar to those of Sweden, but I would raise kind of 3 points. One is, of course, that we're far away, and effectively we're an island when it comes to logistics. Everything goes via the sea or over the sea. Secondly, it's a large country with very few people. It's almost the size of Germany with 5 million people. So in the north there are more reindeer than people. Really? And the third one is that it's a highly cross-border commerce. So about half of the e-commerce comes from abroad. And in some sectors, such as fashion, 86% of orders come from foreign countries. And there, even if it's far away in a large country, I think the parcel cost per kilometer is quite low, especially if you order to Lapland, to the very north, because it's flat rate to the entire country. No matter whether you ship it from southern Finland or Central Europe, it's always flat fee to Finland. So it's actually very cheap per kilometer if you happen to find a customer in the north. One of the reasons might be that similar to Sweden, we have these automated pickup points everywhere, so the postal offices are not around that much, and it's not personal service when you pick up. Also, home delivery is not very common, so it's kind of very efficient when it comes to parcel logistics.
Thank you. So it was very interesting. So we made this first, let's say, first store. So within the time is still remaining, so I will check if there are some questions. If you have questions, I say just push them through the hashtag level 1. But waiting for that. So you said a lot about rising expectations. We feel from what you said that things are happening now. And so maybe this event is also proving that, that now the time has come to give logistics the role it deserves when e-commerce may be the last frontier of e-commerce, right? after the bandwidth of internet, after the payment issues, after the choice, right? Now the logistics, and we can feel that from what you said, that still a lot needs to be done. So both domestically and cross-border. So there was someone to add something on, let's say, what would be the next big thing that might, let's say, break the rules on that matter. There's someone, let's say, is seeing something happening now. What would be the main expectation? What does the actually shoppers wait? What do they want exactly? Like, we know they are waiting for maybe cost, convenience, etc. Wow.
I just think that there is an issue that has not been addressed, is the relation between logistics and packaging. I think that there should be a better cooperation between logistics people and packaging suppliers, because the supplying of packaging is becoming a key issue, both in terms of cost and in terms of communication, because parceling is something which is complex, but it is the real issue that the consumers see when they get the good at home or in click and collect. And I don't see by now a real movement in terms of venture, project, innovation between logistic people and packaging delivery system.
The answer might be not so far away, because we have two partners in packaging soda, in packaging machines. Just here, so maybe a good way to start dialogue. But I can tell you they are working on very innovative things.
I know that.
Okay.
Actually, from my side, maybe one very important trend which we see today actually is China. And everybody knows that actually Chinese e-commerce today is the biggest e-commerce market in the world, and we cannot ignore this market. And therefore, actually, it is because of the Russia game. Today, actually, what we see, 1 week ago, Chinese government decided to implement a new program, One Road, One Belt, and actually to implement so-called Silk Way between China and Europe. And Russia is actually exactly between Russia and China and Europe. And therefore, you see here a huge trend that Russia actually become the largest logistic hub for e-commerce, for distribution of parcels from China via Russia to Europe, and from Europe via Russia to China.
I would like to pick that up straight away, because e-commerce Europe, myself, responsible for e-logistics, I'm flying out to the UPU Congress in the next 2 weeks, starting there. And this is a huge topic at the Congress. Why? China. It is actually cheaper for a number of goods to send directly from China to Europe than sending stuff from Luxembourg to Germany. So it is actually cheaper for goods up to 50 euros to be sent from China directly to Europe. This is a clear indication that something globally is wrong. Talking about the Silk Way is one side, but we are here, especially when it comes to e-commerce Europe, to protect the small and medium-sized European e-commerce retailers. Now, if there is a clear disproportionate pricing in the market, and every commerce is then shifting to warehouses in China, where are you? You're out of business or what? No, that can't happen. So something is severely wrong, and therefore e-commerce Europe took the clear focus to look into those rates. 30% less in tariffs being sent from China to Europe, only because China is qualified as a least developed country. It's obviously wrong when it comes to e-commerce. Now, like Igor just said, China is obviously one of the most developed countries when it comes to e-commerce, and we have to find a certain solution for that. So please be ensured the voice of e-commerce in Europe will be heard in Istanbul at the UPU Congress. And together with the European Commission, like I said, we are not only going out doing lobbying, talking a lot, we are trying to change the market on behalf of small and medium-sized enterprises out there, and we are coming to a certain solution there because we don't want that all your businesses are shifting to China and you're out of business. This can't happen. Thank you very much.
Maybe just one last word, maybe if someone wants to add something before we go out for lunch. Vinan, so Walter was talking about e-commerce Europe, so you're the chairman of e-commerce Europe. Do you want maybe to add something on cross-border business, what is necessary now in logistics?
Well, I think one perspective that we should never forget is, of course, the consumer's perspective. For the consumer, I think, of course, what we see is that the trend there is the consumer wants stuff for free. And I think it's something that's set by the big marketplaces in the world, China, the United States, and it gives the consumer the expectation that delivery, ballpark figure, is free. Of course, we all know that it's not the case. And I think it's a challenge for the retailers to make consumers aware that delivery is not for free, that it costs money, that's all right, it has to come out of the margin. It should focus the logistic partners have to really be aware of that and to deliver options and create options together with retailers in collaboration and to make new options available and affordable, not just for the retailers themselves, but also, for example, for the consumers. Spread in, it's for free, it's 2 or 3 days or whatever, or maybe, and try to make people aware of the fact that if they choose for another option, it might be for free, and if they choose very speedy delivery, it will cost money. And I think it's also for the retailers to start working together, to make collaboration, to work together in the way that they can work together with other logistical partners. So I think flexibility in that sense, and referring to interoperability, is crucial for small and medium enterprises to stay alive, to be part of the business also, not just now, but also in the next few years.
About cross-border, maybe, the role that, how do you see maybe just the cross-border evolving? What will be for you will be the next, in terms of cross-border development? We know that it's part of the solution for many retailers, right? So what would be for you the way like Walter talked about the work with the UPU, and I know that e-commerce Europe is doing a lot on this, so maybe you could just say what e-commerce Europe is doing to help the cross-border business just move on.
Well, of course, I think e-commerce Europe is doing a tremendous job in making this possible and trying to bring people together from a retailer's perspective. I think that if the retailers in different countries can pick up, that motive to really start working together, not just on a national scale to give options to
as you mentioned that for you, it has to be like on a global scale, or European or global scale, that the reflection has to be done not on the national one.
Definitely at a supranational scale, I'd say at least for Europe. Let's take that.
Okay. So I guess we can give it a big warm round of applause. Thank you very much all for your very insightful comments. So you showed the audience that each market indeed is might be very specific, but indeed, like as you said, in the word like cooperation and the mega trends that are just showing everywhere. So I mean, it's and associations are just the best place for organized collaboration. Thank you very much again. Now we have a token served now. Is, I would like to invite you to go out for cocktail. Thank you very much. Great. Let us
Mikro'dan luisteren.
On va essayer de voir vite.